Come and run the 32nd edition of the Peoplecare Fitness 5 and the Kerryn McCann 10 on the 20th of April 2024. Brought to you by the Wollongong Track Club, the Kembla Joggers and Elite Energy. Road running is returning to the roads of Wollongong to bring a fast, fun and friendly event to the masses. Be sure to visit fitness5.com.au for more information. Welcome to episode number 332 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. I'd love to say a big show coming at you this week, but it's been a bit of a boring week in running news the last 7 days. A few things to talk about though. World Cross Country team got announced for Australia. Got some quick fire results. Nagoya Marathon, probably the highlight of the weekend, which we'll get into with all the other segments that you've come to love and enjoy, I hope, on the Inside Running Podcast. Welcome to my co-host who's up in Canberra, the King of Canberra, Bradley Croker. How are you?
Good, Brady. Public holiday here, so can't complain.
Yeah, I was wondering if ACT celebrate Labor Day.
Yeah, it's called Canberra Day here.
Okay. New South Wales don't though, is that correct?
Yeah, so I know people that I coach who live in Canberra, but they work in New South Wales, so they don't get the day off.
Mate, this is the town I live in. Just drove through the main street before. All the tradies, like the council workers, are still watering plants and stuff in Moama. Nothing happening in Echuca.
Yeah.
Why is this a thing? Like different states taking different public holidays like this.
Welcome to you also, Moose. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess the state has control over their sort of public holidays. Although I believe Canberra or ACT get the most national holidays, public holidays out of any other state in the country.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Like you guys get like a Melbourne Cup like day, AFL Grand Final
like Canberra
day.
Cup? Do you have a horse race one up there? You have?
No. Our main horse race was this weekend, though.
Hey, talking about that, I was flicking through Instagram today. Viv Croker, your wife, puts up a story. She's on the front page of the paper there today, Canberra Times.
Yeah, her and her mum.
She got the win yesterday, Fashions on the Field.
She got the win in the millinery,
What's
which
that
is
mean?
the headpiece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Moose?
What? Did she got the win?
No, the headpiece is called the millinery.
No, I didn't know that.
I thought you were laughing and scoffing at me for getting that wrong.
No, I was laughing that there's categories in that stuff, like you win the best headpiece.
Yeah, they got like best dressed, best suited as well. So it used to be like best female and best male dressed, but now it's turned into best dressed. So you need to be wearing a dress, and best suited. So you've got women wearing suits and they compete against the men that wear suits.
What about men that wear dresses?
Well, they can do that, I guess.
Okay.
Yep.
A few changes in that industry.
She might whip one up for you next year, Croaks.
Well, yeah, maybe. So Viv's mum, I think she won or got second. She got second in the best suited. So she wore like pants yesterday. Yeah. So no, you won't see me in a dress, Moose.
Oh, come on, mate. It's a new age. You could rock it.
Yeah.
What
Got the legs for it.
How you been down there, Moose? What have you been doing?
Oh, it's been hot down here. I've been surfing a bit, been working this week, doing a little bit of running, getting the frequency of the runs back, a little bit more volume. What did I do this week? Last week it wasn't too much, but it wasn't too bad either. Ran pretty much every day, I think.
What's the update on the hammy? Did you end up getting that scan or not?
No, I didn't get it because I haven't really had any pain there since I started jogging. I just get tightness, and that's what's restricting how much I can run right now. Just a little bit of caution with the tightness, but no pain. So I didn't think there was a point getting a scan when everything's behaving like it should for the type of injury that we're thinking it is. So I'll just ride that one out, and I'm already back to an hour yesterday over the hills. So I'm ready to pick it up this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like just jump straight into things because you only did 20k. So like it wasn't like you cooked from the race, is it? So you could just jump straight back in.
Well, no, I have an injury. That's the thing that I can't just jump straight back in. And the hamstrings, it doesn't love intensity when you have a hamstring injury. Like a lot of the time you can jog without hurting it or without flaring it up. But as soon as you start to extend the range and put a bit more power through it, that's when you can flare it. So for me, I'll just get back jogging. Another week of jogging, I'll increase the volume that I jog, and I might introduce a few surges, and maybe one of the runs I'll do like a faster finish to test it this week, and then the week after I might do a couple of workouts.
Okay, take us through your week.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, the week was for me just firstly testing it. So 1 week ago I jogged 5K, 25 minutes, and it was all right, no problems. Then next day I went 30 minutes. And then the day after I went 40 minutes on some hillier stuff. Day after 42, 43 minutes. And I had a few Ks that were a bit faster on that run. And then on the Saturday morning, went down to Currawong Falls, ran 52 minutes over a pretty good trail, and then ran 60 minutes on Sunday. So just gradually increasing every day, increasing how hard the run was as well. And now this week I'll have a little bit of a plateau today. I might not even get out. I've surfed a couple of times already, so I'm pretty cooked. And it's hot down here to what, like, if I got out now it'd be 36 degrees. So I might wait till after dinner, see if it cools down and get in 6 or so K after that. But otherwise I'll have a day off and go again.
Okay, good. Sounds positive.
Yeah, it's certainly a better position than I was a week ago. A lot more confidence.
Yeah. Any questions for Croaks, or are we moving on to you?
No, it sounds like you're in a pretty good spot, and obviously you will have lost like a little bit of fitness, but there's nothing to rush back for now. So as you said, jog again this week, light sessions, and then probably in 4 weeks you'll be going okay again.
Yeah,
4 or 5 weeks.
If I can get a long run going, I should be all right. And yeah, I think I've probably lost fitness, but I've got a heart rate. I've had heart rate on for everything except the last run this week, and it was behaving itself. Certainly wasn't scaring me with how unfit I was.
But I guess it's no different to like if you would actually race the marathon, like potentially you'd end up losing more fitness because you potentially take the first 3 to 4 weeks really light after having run the marathon, whereas now it's only been 2 weeks since the marathon, and you're going to probably run decent amount of mileage moving forward. Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
How many weeks you got till Great Ocean Road?
I haven't even really looked. I think it's about 7 or 8.
What day is it?
It's May 18, May 19. So 1, 2,
I reckon you'd have like
3,
9 or 10.
4, 5. Oh yeah, that'd be good. That gives me even more confidence.
I think Ballarat was 7 weeks yesterday.
Okay.
And that's the last weekend in April.
Yeah, so that's what you're doing, isn't it now?
Yeah, I think so. Got to go for the double dip. The double marathon block dip.
It's kind of a double dip, but there's a fair bit of gap between them, really. What is it, 9 weeks between one to the other, or was it 10 weeks?
I think it might even be 10.
I'd say a double dip is got to be within like a month after. For me, that's a double dip. Because you're actually starting another block of training. Once you start another block, it's not a double dip. I reckon double dip's running off the same fitness, the same training that you put in for the one marathon and going again like within a month.
I understand what you're saying. I'm still very much relying on the build-up for Osaka, though, to help me for Ballarat.
Well, it will.
Yeah.
But there's also been a recovery period and then a rebuild and then another training block. Yeah. Like it'll certainly still help, but I just at some
even
point
the taper and stuff. Like you put the Ks down for the taper, race week, recovery week. Like you don't run a lot for 3 weeks, so you probably almost lose a bit of fitness, and then you got to top it up again.
So
plenty of times to top it up.
How long since you ran outside the race like 30K.
Ooh, yeah, I reckon 2 weeks before on the Sunday I would have hit 40K. 30K.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah.
So about a month.
Yeah.
Or it'd be, a month now, and then another week. You probably hit 30K this week, so it'd be like five weeks.
34K. Yep. Yep.
And Moose got 10 weeks. 10 weeks from yesterday till Great Ocean Road.
That's heaps. Okay,
Yeah.
heaps.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
5-time winner.
Well, I've got to get to the start line first, and then I've got to get through it.
Do you know anyone else doing it?
Gunther. I know Gunther's doing it because he's getting fitter. He's doing a lot of hills at the moment, preparing.
He's never won it before?
No, he's never won. He's never done it before.
Really?
I don't think he's done it. He may have jogged it one year. I'll have to look at that. I'm not sure. He's never had a crack at it.
Local big dog, though, he'd want to win it. It could be tough to beat him.
Yeah, if you're winning that as a local, people know who you are. You're not paying for coffees for a good 3 or 4 years after that.
Wouldn't buy a beer at the Apollo Bay pub afterwards, would you?
You're buying a peach schnapps. That's the tradition of our group. The winner buys the beers, but instead of beers, it's a big round of peach schnapps.
Okay.
That's tradition.
Breed them different down there, Croaks.
They do.
What are you doing?
Bit of gym, bit of cycling, one run. So I had actually a pretty good week, a bit like Moose. I think I'm in a better spot this week than I was last week. So my week kicked off on Tuesday. I went to the gym for about an hour. So I've actually been enjoying it more than I thought. So my routine there takes about an hour. I get through sort of six sort of exercises and some core afterwards. So that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, went back to the gym and just jumped on the bike for an hour. Just took my iPad, watched some Netflix. Heart rate, like it's not a super hard ride. Sort of 130 heart rate.
135 average, it says here.
Yeah, well, I think that my
Must be
heart
going
rate.
pretty hard.
Not really. It gets a bit warm in there, so it's more your heart rate increases just because you sweat, and but in terms of the effort, it's not too bad.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But I'm not doing intervals because I figure, I plan to not be riding for that long, that I'm just like, it's more just for some mental health and just to do some aerobic conditioning, which that sort of 130 heart rate sort of meets that brief.
You jog at something similar to that? 130, 135?
Yeah, probably be a bit higher jogging.
Yeah, okay. What are you watching on Netflix?
That one I watched, Blood and Water.
Don't know what that is.
What's this? Geez, you guys have some serious time on your hands. You go into the deep back catalogues of Netflix.
The only time you get to watch stuff on Netflix is when you're on a treadmill or an exercise bike in our life.
Pulling out bloody shows that no one's ever heard of.
I never heard of this one.
Because you've watched every other show on there.
It sounds like a real SBS on demand kind of show, I reckon.
Go and watch it, and then we can debrief.
No, I watched that last one you told me about, that Grisella or whatever, and that wasn't that good.
You didn't like it?
I've still got a couple of episodes to go. It's not that good, though.
Oh.
Too many subtitles for the treadmill. Got to concentrate too much.
Mate, you read books. You should love subtitles.
Yeah, well, I don't read books when I'm running 430k pace, do I?
Yeah, no, that would be. There's no way I could watch that while I was actually running because you do have to read it because there's a fair bit of Anyway, so that was Wednesday, and then Friday I went back to the gym, another hour there. And then Saturday was my first run. So this had been Friday the week before was my last run where I did 20 minutes. And so I did, lap and mulligans, 32 minutes, 4:24s. It was pain-free. And it was niggly after the run. So I was a bit sort of annoyed that it wasn't 100%. But then I woke up yesterday and it was the best it had felt. Remember I said I couldn't do that sort of ITB stretch on my bad hip, on the side of my bad hip. That's all gone now. So I can do that stretch. I feel like some of the inflammation's come down. It's not quite as, when you get some inflammation and stuff gets a bit sort of warm to touch. I don't have any of that anymore. So I was pretty, was pretty happy yesterday, especially in the afternoon. I'm like, my hip feels almost like 100%. But I didn't run. I went back to the gym and just rode for an hour. Listened to the monthly actually. So that was good fun actually, Brady. Because I don't enjoy being on the bike, especially in the gym. But I was got through 70 minutes quite comfortably, just listening to you guys. So thanks for that.
Those blokes just store it up, a month's worth of content, because they always message me like, what day are we recording? Come on, let's start recording, da da da. And they just come in fully fired up, those two.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm very happy it's behind a paywall with some of the topics that we covered.
It certainly made a difference.
I'm definitely not trying to get people to sign up to Patreon. Just like we can go in different areas when you're only going out to a much smaller audience.
Yeah. But like for me, normally an hour is like my limit on the bike. But yeah, if you've got some good content, sort of that first 45 to 50 minutes, you sort of get for free. And then, you can sort of I'd probably get through 90 minutes quite comfortably.
The boys had some advice for you too, didn't they? Slow things down a bit. Been saying this for 7 years, Moose.
Well, my session. Well, the thing is,
the boys are going to learn. He doesn't like hearing that.
No. Do you know when when it flared up?
Yeah, when you did that marathon pace workout.
I did the 3x5K. I finished that run and then I was at the car and I'm like, fuck, my hips really sore.
What was the workout before that? 2 or 3 days before though? Do you know? Have you looked?
I could tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just remember you were rolling some good, some kick down, fart, so you were rolling 245 pace, 250 pace. I think that's what the boys think you got to stay away from.
The session before that was 8 by 3 minutes at 3:10 to 3:14.
Here we go.
Off a minute rest. So
he's fired back here, Moose. Toby and Chriso can get stuffed. In other words, that's what he's saying.
Nah,
you got Coach Chriso. Maybe you could get him on board, Coach Chriso.
Yeah, I'm not doing.
He's a wealth of knowledge, mate.
I'm not doing double thresholds.
Double threshies. Oh, you were in. He did coach you for a little bit.
Oh, look, I'm very much about the 6 minute reps off minute recovery, 400s off short recovery, short hills. But I'm just doing just one session a day, not two. So I do like the principle of those sessions where you finish them going, oh yeah, that was a 7 out of 10. And I did get fit a couple of years sort of doing that. So I might go back to that. Anyway, my week was 7K of running, a couple of hours on the bike and a couple of hours of gym. So things are going all right. I ran today and I ran 10.5K today and it was good and it's pulled up really well. So I think I'm over the worst of it.
Okay, that's good. Because this has dragged on, hasn't it? This hip niggle.
Yeah, it's been a month. Well, yeah. So I've pretty much had 4 weeks where I haven't run more than 40K.
All right, I'll whistle through my week, eh? I'm kind of losing my voice a bit, boys. So if you see me drop out, that's what's happened here.
What have you been doing? Watching the footy last night.
Too much talking, I think, by the sounds of things.
Have you been on a few podcasts lately?
A lot of podcasts, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't listened to that yet. I'm going to have a listen.
A really big question got me on that one. What have you learnt from Moose and Croaks over the years? Hard to answer with nothing.
Just say the answer.
Yeah.
Be honest. Say nothing.
Learnt that they can run a marathon faster than you.
Yeah.
I'm dying here, boys. I'm dying.
Plenty of lessons there, just you haven't learned any of them.
All right, you ready? Monday. Kick things off the week. 60 minutes at 4:36 pace in the morning. Then 7K in the afternoon, Croaks, watching Drive to Survive on Netflix. You been there before?
I did the first season, but yeah, I don't really get into it too much. I'm not really much of an F1 fan.
It's getting a bit repetitive. It's just the same drama every year, but just in different teams and stuff. So I don't know how much longer I've got with that show. Mind you, some big stuff's happening in the world of F1 at the moment, so I think the next season will be pretty good. Tuesday, I wanted to test the legs out for a workout. So what are we, 9 days post Osaka? Did 4 by 5 minutes off 90 seconds jog. Did not look at pace at all. Just wanted to work at a quicker kind of controlled effort. And then, kind of looked back at the data afterwards and was probably hitting 3:15 average for the 5 minutes and felt good. A bit of DOMs through the quads at the very end of it, but nothing kind of too bad. And in the Arvo, ran 30 minutes easy on the treadmill. Wednesday, I did 16K at 4:43s in the morning, 30 minutes on the treadmill in the afternoon. Thursday, 60 minutes in the morning at 4:39s and 7K on the treadmill in the Arvo. And then Friday, I did I just kind of like made up this workout as I was going. I wanted to kind of do a bit of quicker stuff, bit of kind of tempo stuff. So I did 8 minutes and then 6 by 90 seconds and then another 8 minutes and then 2 by 30 seconds, all with like a minute jog between, which I think came out at like 35 minutes in total. Same thing, never looked at the paces. I hit 3:18 and 3:14 for the 8 minutes and probably like 3:03 average for the 90 seconds, and then just pretty much ran as fast as I could for the 2:30 seconds at the end there. It was good. I kind of hit right on 10K for the 35 minutes, so yeah, kind of really enjoyed that workout. And I was like, okay, I think the DOMS, the marathon fatigue's kind of past now, and I can take a bit more confidence, turning things up a bit the next few weeks. In the Arvo after work, also did 30 minutes on the treadmill. I actually left the iPad at the treadmill and have not been able to locate it yet, and it's actually Carly's iPad, so yeah,
it's an expensive run, that one.
Find my phone app. It says it's at the gym, and I've been to the gym a couple of times trying to locate it, but I haven't quite found it yet. But I'm thinking a staff member has put it away somewhere nice and stay safe for me. A few messages back and forth with the owner, trying to get that one back. So hopefully next time we talk, I'm back in possession of the running iPad.
What did Carly have to say?
Just those things that people say when someone loses their stuff, Crocs. Yeah, just wasn't great. And I tried to, when it's because we had to go to I was rushing, which is totally my fault that I'm rushing, but we had to rush to go to like a birthday party. So I tried to blame the fact that we were going to a birthday party, which meant I had to rush. That's why I left the iPad at the gym, which is my bad. I've got to take full ownership after leaving an iPad just sitting on the top of the treadmill.
Spent a few nights out in the granny flat, have you?
No, I have actually, because I've been sick, as you would have heard like 5 minutes ago. I've been coughing a lung up every night. So, I've been a bit crook, so I have spent a few nights out there. Not iPad related, though. Then Saturday, I was crook. I just did 7K on the treadmill, because I went back to the gym trying to find the iPad, which was unsuccessful. Super hot. And yeah, I just real dry cough. I just can't seem to shake it. So, heart rate's fine when I'm running. Everything else feels good. But just at night time more than anything, I've just been coughing heaps and yeah, just kind of can't shake it. Sunday, super hot moose. I think it was 25 degrees at 6 a.m. up here as well. I got out for... First hour was kind of in the dark, which was good, but it was still hot. I did 25K. So I was kind of thinking I might have done 30. And then I'm just like, this is pretty warm. Average 4:13s. Just try to keep the heart rate under 140. 136K for the week, 7 weeks until Ballarat Marathon. So I reckon I'm going to turn it up for 5.5, 10-day taper. We go again. Hopefully have some super compensation from the Osaka Marathon, and we can do this, I reckon, fellas.
So you start marathon sessions this week?
No, I
give it another week.
I think I'm going to do Tuesday, Friday, and then I might chuck some steady stuff into my long run Sunday. Only because I've come off a reasonably easy Sunday, so I think I'm ready to go again Tuesday. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah. You're going to get back to the hills?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do marathon specific every weekend. I think I'm going to do for the 6 Sundays, I think I'll do 3 hilly long runs, where I'll probably get I want to be out there for maybe 2.5 hours, get 500, 600 metres, and kind of work them at 3:55, 4-minute K pace. And then alternate that with a marathon-specific, tempo or marathon pace reps broken up on the alternative weekend. And it's kind of nothing to lose as well. Why not do this? Give it a crack, see what happens. Just got to get an entry. Probably should organise that.
There is nothing to lose, really. I mean, it's not like you're going to risk your Olympic spot or put another race in your legs before some sort of do or die event. These things are learning. We get to have a look at it too. Everyone who's listening to the podcast is almost like a real educational piece for everybody.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And Sinead Diver's weather looks good. So, yeah, looking forward to going. Should we thank the Patreon supporters, Croaks?
Let's do it. I got Scott Douglas this week. Scott's from Sydney, and according to Strava, his PB is a 12:06 for 3K, 20:55 for 5K, 45:38 for 10, an hour 40 for the half marathon, which was at the 2019 Sydney Morning Herald half, and he ran 3:40 at the 2023 Gold Coast Marathon. He's a regular at the Ponds Park Run, and I believe he's the regional marketing and sales manager for ABB. And they are a technology leader in electrification and automation, enabling a more sustainable and resource-efficient future. Thanks for your support, Scott.
On to Scott. Who you got, Moose?
Oh, well, I have Shane Hollab. So Shane is from Mulgrave in Victoria. Couldn't find him on Strava. Few race results. 43 minutes at the 2019 Melbourne Marathon 10K. 92 minutes at the 2011 Run Melbourne. And 3:31 at the 2008 Melbourne Marathon. Shane is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Mizuno Oceania Corporation. So he is the big dog. He's the one that all these little Mizuno lemmings that you deal with, Brady, they're the ones. He's the head honcho. He tells them what to do. He can fire them. He hires them.
Do you know Shane, Moose?
I know Shane, yeah. Shane was in Japan last year with me, so we flew over together. He's a great bloke, actually, Shane. And he gets it really well. Like, he's a runner, clearly. We like hearing runners that work for brands, especially in the running departments, because they just get it. Like, they understand what people need and people want and the frustrations of a runner. And so they can make better decisions because of that. But, yeah, no, Shane's great. Yeah, thank you for your patronage, Shane.
Yeah, and your relationship with the show.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
He'd
play a big part in that. Director of marketing, he'd play a big part in that.
I'm going to thank Evangeline Dowling from Sydney. She's ran one Ironman, or completed one Ironman, we think, and maybe 2 70.3 Ironmans and 3 half marathons, Bradley. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that was on her Strava bio. So her Strava was locked down, but I could see her bio.
Okay, good dig in there. We think one of those half marathons was at Canberra last year, where she ran 1:53. May also have a parkrun PB of 24:32 at the Hamilton Parkrun. So Evangeline, massive thanks for your support. Good work on those Ironmans. That's a long way. Respect for that. What else can people expect on Patreon coming up soon, Moose? Why'd sign up for patreon.com for Inside Running Podcast?
Well, coming up, I think we're going to look ahead, aren't we, to maybe the Gold Coast. But for now, if you want to go back, you can listen to a little series called Road to Valencia with a guy from England, lived down in the south of England. He was once on Ramsay's Ramsay's Hotel Nightmares. Do we remember his name?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Pete LeGrice.
Yeah, Pete LeGrice, that's
Pete
right.
LeGrice, hilarious fella. Tells a story about how he was on that Gordon Ramsay show. His family was. He runs a hotel or something down there, and Gordon Ramsay came down, chewed him out. Great story, that.
I forgot about this, Moose. Yeah.
And then who else was on that show?
Matt Clowes has just come back out of retirement. Have you seen
Just
that?
on Pete LeGrice. Remember, because he was from Penzance, we called him the Prince of Penzance.
Oh yeah.
Well, you
What's
did.
What's he been up to lately?
He's done nothing since that show.
Well, yeah, I'm just on his Strava now, actually, and there's nothing since November last year. He did Tuesday session 16 by 400, and that's the last thing.
That show broke him. The curse fully took his running career out.
Oh yeah. Clousey gone after that.
Clowes is coming back.
Yeah, he's back.
He's coming out of retirement.
Clousey was good value though, and then we also had Martinelli. What's his first name?
Paul Martinelli.
Martelletti?
Martelletti, yeah.
Martelletti, yeah. So a few rogue characters on that one.
He's still going all right too. He's running well at the moment, I think.
Is he?
Paul
runs well, don't he?
Paul had some Reese vibes. Would back up real quick on things.
And he could be training shit. You look at his training and go, no chance this bloke's running well, and then he'd go and race well.
That's always a moose to pull that
get
one
back
out of the
on that
catalogue.
series.
Yep, that and about 120 other bonus episodes over on patreon.com/Inside Run Podcast. If you like what we do, the show brings you value every week. You can sign up for as little as $5 a month. That's on there. The monthly stuff comes out on there with Chriso and Toby, monthly with Sinead and Ellie. Working on like a series coming up soon about getting some big name coaches on, a bit of like a coach's corner kind of podcast series with some of the big dogs of Australian running coaching, trying to make our Patreon audience better runners, I guess, by hearing from some of the best in the business.
In 2024's Peoplecare Fitness 5 Fun Run, we welcome alongside the mass participation event the introduction of an elite athlete section, where sub 15-minute runners for men and sub 17:30 for women will have free entry, access to an elite-only area, and direct front of race start area. With a whopping $10,000 of prize money on offer for the 5K, paying from 1st to 5th, this sets the scene for some exciting racing. We look forward to seeing some of the best state and national runners competing for this prize. Previous podium finishers have included household names such as Scott Westcott, Harry Summers, Yusuf Abdi, Ben St. Lawrence, Ryan Gregson, Russell Desai-Chin, Lara Tamsett, Chloe Tai, Gwen Jorgensen, and the late Kerryn McCann herself. The Kerryn McCann 10K remembers Wollongong's greatest ever runner, best known for her double gold medal winning marathons at the 2002 and 2006 Commonwealth Games. The 10K is available for those looking for something a bit longer. Lastly, we can't forget the kids and families, so we also have the Turbo 2, which is a 2K event. You can enter now at fitness5.com.au, and if you'd like to inquire about the elite race, contact Wollongong Track Club through the contact page or via Instagram.
Grogs, let's go to running news. World Cross team got announced.
I guess it's caused a little bit of controversy, which we'll have a chat about. We'll start with the men's 10K. So they've selected a full team of 6. So the team is Pat Tiernan, who obviously didn't run the trial, but selector's discretion there. It's a no-brainer, really. Haftu Strintzos also got selected along with Liam Adams, so they were 1-2 at the trial, so automatic. And then they've also selected Zach Faccioni, Ed Marks, and Andre Waring. So that's good that, 6 guys will be over there representing us. Unfortunately, they only selected 2 in the open women's, and that's Paige Campbell and Melissa Duncan, who finished 1st and 2nd at the trial. So I guess the unlucky people there were, so Morty Skyring finished 3rd, Sarah Klein 4th, Abigail Nordberg was 5th, and Charlotte Wilson 6th. So I'm not sure whether Morty would have wanted to run World Cross, given she's, a track runner running quite well on the track. So
why would she rock up to the trials if she didn't want to run?
Well, I don't know. Still just a good hard hit out. Their squad was in Canberra for that track classic anyway.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but I thought she would definitely have the track as her focus for this season. But maybe she did want to go to World Cross. But thoughts on that? Well, actually, let's go. We'll also mention that they've selected a full team of juniors as well. So there's 6 under-20 men and 6 under-20 women. I did see today that there's some athletes have been putting out like a GoFundMe page because Athletics Australia are charging them $3,500 to represent their country, which if they're charging people $3,500, like why wouldn't they just send 6 women?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's not like it's costing AA anything.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe are saying you are not good enough to represent our country.
Yeah, $500, $1,000. Maybe, I don't know the cost of flights and accommodation, transfers, food, all of that. I don't know what the total cost per athlete would be. The levy is still $3,500. But if you can get athletes over there for $500 to $1,000, that is exactly what they're saying, Brady. They're saying we don't consider you at the level that we want to represent our country.
Even if you're happy to pay your own way.
And even if you even if you're happy to pay your own way, but that's why they make the criteria so strong.
But I would have thought like cross country is one of those events where it's not time based. Like last year we were in Bathurst and we saw people representing, I can't remember which country it was, like one of the small Pacific islands, and they were probably running 45 minutes for 10K, some of the guys. And they're still out there. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not like they're getting lapped on the track 5 or 6 times over a 10K. Like, cross-country is one of those events where it doesn't matter. Like, just put them out there.
Yeah. What is the cost of having them on the course? Like, they're not... It's just... Yeah,
it's not like they're going to embarrass the country. Like, you look at, like Sarah Klein, for example. She's already represented the country at World Championships. Abigail Norberg's I think sub 72 minute half marathoner.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're sending 90-minute half marathon girls over there.
Yeah, I'm with you. And how like Ed Marks. Well, you look at the Ed Marks, Andre, and Zach Faccioni, and you go, how have they kind of justified putting them in the team compared to someone like Sarah Klein? Like, is it because did they hit the minimum requirements? Like, I forget what it was exactly for the men. I just remember seeing a few pretty stringent times for the ladies. But is someone like Ed Marks and Andre, have they hit those times required? Because it's odd that they would pick a full men's team and only 2 for the women.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is way more than I expected to be selected. But especially juniors as well. Like, they've sent me quite a few juniors, but then like the clear omission was the other 4 women, and just seeing 2 names that listed there.
Can say kudos to them for picking the full junior teams, but then anti-kudos for making them pay for it.
Yeah. It's a bit of money for those kids to find. International Women's Day as well. They announced that team. Only had two on the just a clash of dates there. Probably not a
Should I go through the juniors that were selected?
Yeah, read them out.
Give them a shout out.
Hurry
so
up.
we got in the men's, we've got Jack Coomer, Charlie Moore, Kai Hahir, Patrick Heffernan, Seth Mahoney, and Logan Tickle.
Bendigo Bats, Logan Tickle. Do you know that, boys?
I saw it plastered all over social media.
First junior kid to represent Australia at World Cross, I think.
It's a good achievement.
Yeah.
And then in the under 20 women, we've got Gabrielle Schmidt, Charlie Rose Carlion, Emma De Jong, Sienna Bush, Greta Johnson, and Amy Bunnage. So, a lot of our listeners would have heard about Amy Bunnage. So she's over at Stanford at the moment, I believe. So she's probably the standout girl there in the under 20 women, which will be interesting to see how she goes on the world stage. I'm guessing she'll be pretty competitive.
Well, she needs redemption after last year. She collapsed, remember, on the course. So she'll be looking there. Yeah.
I don't think heat's going to be an issue this year.
No, which would be good. Good for Amy.
Jeez.
She just ran 15 loads, didn't she, on the track?
Yeah, 15. Was it like 15 in the teens?
Yeah. 15:07 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Why do I think 07?
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
She ran in between 15 and 15:20 anyway. Put it that way.
Yeah.
That's good. When's it coming up, Crooks? Next week?
It's like the 30th of March.
Okay, 2 weeks' time. That'd be good. Hopefully we've got a stream. Can watch it somehow.
It'll be middle of the night stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be there morning. It'd be afternoon. Yeah. I remember watching it when I was in Denmark. That was like a late Saturday night, like 10 p.m.
Could be that. Could be late Saturday night. That could work.
Stay up, have a couple of beers, and watch a bit of cross country.
Yeah.
We'll find out between now and then. We'll let people know when it's going to be on.
Get a watch
party out from our time.
NCAA indoor champs are on, Moose. What can you tell me about that one?
Yeah, so we had a few ladies and gents. So I'm just going to read out the relevant Australian results here. So the women's 800, we had Hayley Kitching in 4th. Who did she run for? Which college? Do we know that? She ran 2:02 actually to finish 4th. So solid. Another 800 girl coming through. Throwing a bit of a spanner in the works there again.
Penn State, Moose.
Penn State, okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she can do in outdoors, whether she posts some times close to 2 minutes, whether she comes back for the national championships. That'll be even more interesting, whether a few of these athletes do. The men's mile, it was won by Luke Hauser in 4:01. Adam Spencer, he was second in 4:01.92. So 20 hundredths of a second. Is that how you say that? 20 hundredths of a second?
20 hundredths, yeah, or 0.2 of a second.
2 of a second behind.
No, that's 2/10 of a second, not hundredths. The spot after the decimal point is the tenths position.
2/10 of a second.
Teach this in grade 4, Moose. Do this all the time. Those tenths, hundredths, thousandths.
All right, well, he's second anyway, and it's pretty close. So big result from Adam, another guy who we'll have a look to see if he comes home for the national champs. Men's 3K, Nico Young won, 7:41. Kai Robinson 5th, 7:46. And then back to the 5K in the men's, Nico Young won again, 13:25, and Kai Robinson was third place in 13:27, and Jackson Sharp with 8th in 13:31. So a big cluster of athletes sort of all come in over 4 or 5 seconds there. So Kai 3rd and 5th after winning both outdoors last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Won 5 and 10K last year. So maybe he'll look for a bit of redemption in the outdoor season.
So he's signed like a next in line deal with On, hasn't he? But we don't know which On. Like we don't know if it's the Oceania or he'll stay in the States. Could this be his last year of college? That hasn't been announced, has it?
Well, it's got to be soon. He's been there for a long time now. I don't know exactly when he's due to graduate, whether it's after this track season or whether he has cross country again to go. But yeah, what On will be hoping is that he almost like repays their initial commitment to him. I think that's the deal with those
how's it
NIL
work?
deals. They basically support them through college. They support the athlete through college. There's no commitment. There's no requirement for them to sign with the brand when they do turn pro. So the idea is that you're building a bit of goodwill with the athlete. I think that's kind of the incentive for the brand to get behind a college athlete.
So how do they support them though in college? Because they can't take money, can they?
No, they can. They can get money. They just can't. They can't win prize money. So it's still the same like rules with like college. You can't win any prize money, but you can still get paid.
Oh, so he's on contract already.
Yeah, you can still get paid. I think because brands are basically using your image and using like your reputation, but you can't go out as like most pros will go out and make money by winning races or winning prize money. Kai can't do that, but I'm pretty sure. And
he's also
he
also
paid.
has a school sponsor to satisfy. So like let's say Stanford is Nike, sponsored by Nike, he's still got to wear like the Nike Stanford kit and all that.
Yeah, so that's why the payment would be less because he rarely would race in their kit. Probably never races in their kit.
Yeah, he can't. Like
Does he have to wear Nike spikes?
Oh, see, I don't know about that.
I reckon check his Instagram, his latest posts. I'll have a look.
Yeah, have a look.
Because you'd think if the college was Nike, they would.
I think they have to. Yeah.
He's coming back too. I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago. He's coming.
Were
back.
You?
Well, just messaging him back and forth.
Sliding him in his. Oh, hello.
He slides into mine.
Friend.
No, I was asking him if he was when I was doing the Zatopek research. It's a couple of months ago, more than a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, he's in Nike spikes for this race we're talking about.
So you can't imagine, like, it must be hard for On to go, oh yeah, here's like we want to support you, like you can look like represent us, and then he's out there in full Nike kit.
They get the Instagram bio tag though.
Still pay off, I reckon.
So then in his post about On, it says this content was created and publicised by On Oceania. So I wonder if he has to put a disclaimer in there like that.
Don't know.
Anyway, because Cam Myers is the same, isn't he? He's like next in line with Nike, but he's not at college, so can he get prize money?
No, so if he wants to go to college, he can't accept prize money, but he's still getting paid by Nike. And obviously, he doesn't have the conflict with brands because he's not at college. So he can run in. Well, he's running in Nike, obviously, because that's who's sponsoring him.
So hypothetically, let's just play around with $100,000. He could be on $100,000 at the moment with Nike because he hasn't gone to college yet because he's still in year 12. Goes to college at a non-Nike school and then they reduce it to like $30,000 a year because he will never get to run in Nike. And then comes out of college and is like the best in the world and goes to like $500,000 a year for Nike.
Potentially. I don't know whether they'd reduce his it'd probably depend how long his contract was for. Like if he signed like a 3-year contract now with Nike, then they probably can't reduce it. Oh, yeah. But I know that he can't accept prize money if he wants to go to college.
So what to do with his prize money?
Well, I don't know. They just don't accept it.
So when he, like that Murray Plant meet, his third place prize money just gets what? AA just keep it?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Whoever pays it just gets to hang on to it.
I reckon there would be some sneaky little we'll pay that to your mum or your sister,
put it in your dad's bank account or something.
Yeah. I reckon this is how it would work. I reckon.
Or you want to buy a new car? He's like, we'll chip in like this amount.
100% of it.
There would be
Pay
a
it
lot
into a
of that
trust or something, couldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I know that like when you look back at say Galen Rupp and how Nike was supporting him before he turned pro, but before he turned to college, and back then there was none of these NIL deals, so you were basically like weren't supposed to have any support in anyway.
Because the NIL deal stands for name, image, and likeness. So you can get paid based on them using your name, using your image. But obviously, unlike most pros who make money through winning prize money, he can't do that.
But if he went to like a Nike school like Oregon, just like bang, bang.
Yeah.
You're calling it next in line.
Isn't that what it's called?
No, it's NIL, which stands for name, image, and likeness.
Well, I've learned something this afternoon. I'm happy to debate this because I always thought it was next in line. Because that brand is next in line for that athlete. If this backfires on you two, it could be embarrassing.
I'm pretty sure it stands for name, image, and likeness, and in brackets NIL.
I'll be honest. I reckon I called it next in line once, and
that's where I've got it from.
That's where I learned, and then I learned real quick that it wasn't that, and so I stopped saying it. But you've just rolled with it.
Well, just the first thing I've Googled has come up. WWE launches an NIL program, and then in brackets it says next in line to recruit college athletes. So...
That's not real hard evidence.
No, not much is coming. I'm really just scrolling down and not much is coming up.
I reckon I might have even heard his manager, when he was talking about an NIL deal, say... name, image, and likeness when explaining why he can still accept money, because Nike can use his name, use his image, and he's getting paid for them using that, which is different to him winning prize money. So I'm pretty confident it stands for name, image, and likeness. I'd be willing to put a case on it with you, Brady.
So WWE have launched its NIL, name, image, and likeness program, designed to recruit college athletes and create an entry for aspiring performers. The company announced its program, Next in Line, which follows the NCAA adding a policy this past July that allows collegiate athletes to seek monetary compensation for their time, image, and likeness.
There you go.
I'm not sure if I got to the bottom of it, but we'll move on. Nagoya Marathon happened yesterday, boys. The big watch there was Eloise Wellings. I tuned in, watched the whole race, pretty much gun to tape. Couldn't understand a word that was being said, but I do love the excitement levels of the Japanese commentators because they get really up and about. The splits are good. They had this virtual, so the Japanese ladies had to run quicker than 2:18.59 to get their third spot on their Olympic trials, or their Olympic team. So their trials, the first two are guaranteed, and then they pretty much just have whoever's the third fastest in the next couple of months gets a third spot. So it makes it really interesting. I like that. Fascinating race. You had some big name Kenyans. So the world champion was there. I do have her name written down here somewhere. I can't find it off the top of my head. Gautier, is that something like that? Does that ring a bell? You guys know what I'm talking about? She won at Oregon. No. Never heard of her? Come on, boys. Gautier. She's ran 2:18. She won the world champs. So she was in the lead pack with another Kenyan girl, Eunice Chumba, who's run 2:20 before. They kind of broke away at I'm going to say 30 to 35. And then Gautier, she just pulled out suddenly at 37k. Looked like she was cramping. So then it was down to this one. She's not from Kenya anymore. She runs for Bahrain now, Chumba. And then there was this Yuka Ando, who's got the lowest arm swing you will ever see. Have you guys seen it before?
Yeah, I've seen it.
She's real straight arms. They pretty much come down to her quads, but just efficient. She didn't change technique the whole race. When I turned it on, I'm like, oh, look at this girl's low arms. So then she was probably, I'm going to say 35, 40 seconds down at one stage. Ends up catching Chumba at 40k. just sits behind her for like 1K. Chumba's swerving all over the road trying to drop her. And then Undo went to the front, probably about a K to go, got the win. She ran a PB, 221.18, 250,000 USD as well for first prize if you win Nagoya. Chumba was second, 7 seconds back, 221.25. And Suzuki, another Japanese, was third in 221.33. So they had two ladies under Sinead Diver's national record. But both those ladies will not get to go to the Olympics because they're not fast enough. Thought that was interesting. Elise Wellings went through in 73. I couldn't find, the tracking was pretty hard to follow. I couldn't find a 25K split. That doesn't mean there wasn't one though. There could have been, but she was a DNF in the end. Haven't heard anything yet. I've been like checking her Instagram every hour to see if there's a post up. Haven't seen that yet, so I don't have many more details for you there. What else? Oh, it was real weird. The paces dropped out really early. So Charlotte Purdue dropped to the back at about 12K. And Korea, she was one of the girls racing you at Sydney Marathon Moose. She kind of got the long braids, has the Rosa kit, 218 lady. She was also meant to pace till, I don't know how far, but she then pulled out at about 13K. So, which still left two paces in that lead pack. The other news, I guess, was Camille Buscombe from New Zealand. She was 9th in 228. Looked lonely out there. I think there was 3 minutes between 4th place and 5th place. So female-only race, very, unless you're running for the win, where there was a few ladies pretty similar times, it looked lonely and probably not the place to go if you try and run a quick time, which I assume is what's happened with Eloise. If she's got a bit stranded or something's maybe happened and she still might reload somewhere else. Thoughts, boys?
Yeah, so was there a gap, 4th place was 222, and then 5th place was 225 or something? Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, geez, that is pretty lonely out
there.
there.
And Camille was 9th in 228. So pretty long, and it just looked like long straight roads. The weather looked pretty good. It was hard to tell with the wind.
I think it was windy,
and it would have kicked up on the long straight roads as well. It seemed like there was probably 3 or 4 turns in the course and a bit of kind of out and back nature. So when you're into a wind like that, it's impacting you, and you just don't have the guys to sit in with at the mixed gender races. So, and that could be why Charlotte and Korea, the other female pacers, were dropped off so early in the race.
And although Osaka didn't go to plan for Ellie, that would have been still a much better race than this one. Being isolated and running on your own for the majority of the race. I reckon.
Yeah. I think
big packs.
I think Ellie's pretty happy with the picking the male only races just based off what's happened here, which is what her fear was, that if she was trying to run 223, she got 5 girls up in front of her and she's got 5 girls behind her as the pack disintegrates.
I assume it was a pretty good payday. Camille would have got paid to come 9th in 228, wouldn't she? So I can get the whole economics about going to these races to be a professional athlete and cash in, but not sure if it's a spot to go for the time.
Yeah, they got the time back when they were running 226. So I think it was Sinead got the time there initially for London. Tokyo. Ali got her Tokyo time there, 2019, but seems like it's moved on, and the male only races do seem to be the one that I guess it offers more protection for those girls.
I think the issue as well, Moose, was back in the day, the top girls weren't running as fast as they are now, and I feel like a lot of these major marathons, they only care about pacing for the top handful, not the girls that are still in that 223, 224 range.
They had Sinead. Sinead went through half in 72 something, I think, with Camille. So they did have, at least one pacer there, with which was Sinead. And I think what happened was, who was the other? Charlotte dropped back off the front group and jumped into the second group. But again, you're looking at halfway. So having people around you from 30 to 40K is a big deal, especially if it's windy. And that's the problem with female pacing, is if you're looking at running times that qualify you for the national Olympic teams, we're nearly running national records to get there. and you're capable of pacing until 35k, you're probably the national record holder as it is. Like, there's not too many other girls that can do that, aside from the ones that are actually making the teams themselves. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for you to go out and pace like your main competitor to making the Olympic team, does it?
And yesterday, like Sinead was so she was pacing the second group. So obviously you would have had a pacer for the girls that wanted to run 220 or under 220. So then Sinead's leading the second pack, which is going through halfway in 72 something. So that's even slower than what, Ellie would have to run, to qualify.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if Eloise was in that pack then. Why wasn't it quicker? I guess the race decides, not the athlete.
I think it started quicker.
It did. Yeah.
And
Even
maybe they realised
it started quicker as well.
It was too windy. I think it was pretty windy, and so all this, like, they're the changes that you need to make on the fly. If you go, oh fuck, it's a windy day, I'm probably not going to run the pace. Well, we best drop the pace in order to sort of still manage things.
Keep the group together.
Yeah.
Problem is, though, in an Olympic year, it's pretty much go for it or bust. That's
that's right.
Which if it wasn't an Olympic year and there weren't these, 223 that you need to run to qualify, then potentially they do that, adjust a bit earlier in the race.
It's also why you go to Valencia, because you get the exact, the conditions are so predictable and so perfect. Like, that's, in order to run 223, we're talking about that like it ain't no thing, just because other girls have been doing it, but they do it at Valencia. So they've all been done at Valencia, really. Outside Lisa running Osaka last year, 223, Valencia's the spot.
You know what'll happen, Moose? You'll be in Valencia this year. A week after, it'll be like, it was 30k an hour winds.
The first bad day they've ever had.
Valencia ain't that good, fellas. Even on a perfect day, she can still go bad there.
What happened there, Brady? We're just saying how perfect it is.
Mate, that was perfect that day. I was there too. Not one excuses other than my pacing in my body let me down that day. London Marathon was also announced. Their elite field, 10 sub 2:17:30 women. So they're going to be targeting the women's only world record there. And 10 sub 2:05 men. Kenny Bakili's there as well. A whole lot of other names. Not going to go into all of them now. But London always do this. Go very, very hard and fast with their elite field. And I reckon, Croak's the only other bit of news we got here. Queensland 3K champs and 6 foot.
Yeah, we can go through those.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yep. So Queensland 3K champs. The winners there were Luke Graves, who I believe is from WA. He ran 8:13, and Olga Fasova, she won the women's in 9:27. And the 6 foot track marathon up there in the Blue Mountains was won by James Niparis in 3 hours 26, and Steph Austin won the women's in 4 hours and 2 minutes. I don't know, Brady, we want to touch on the fact, Asefa is named in the London Marathon elite field, but her world record hasn't been ratified. I know you guys spoke about it a bit on the monthly, but it seems a bit odd that her record hasn't been ratified, which was in September when she ran in Berlin, but Kiptum, who broke it in Chicago in October, has been ratified. So there seems to be something going on, something strange about that.
What? It's just a whisper.
Well, I don't know. Doesn't it seem odd? Like, why would a marathon world record that was broken in October be ratified before the one in September?
So London Marathon had just signed and fast people. So I don't think you can read anything into they've signed her, so it must be all good. But there must be something going on behind closed doors to why that hasn't been ratified yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. So, watch
construction
this
on the
space.
course. Berlin wouldn't get that wrong, the measurement.
Wouldn't have thought so.
You wouldn't have.
But both these London races are going to be pretty good. You look down the list and it's just a who's who. Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to that. See the other bit of news as well. The Australian Olympic kit got revealed. Izzy Bat-Doyle was the athlete chosen to model that one. All over social media. It was even on the news. I was watching the footy the other night, and they do a recap of the news stories. That kind of popped up. I'm like, oh, there's Izzy on my TV, which looked pretty clean. ASIC's obviously the sponsor. That's why Izzy's there. But the DMs lit up. Inside Running Podcast, people putting their tin hats on. getting deep into controversy about why was it Izzy and why wasn't it Lisa Waitman, who is also an ASICS athlete and is one spot above her on the ranking list for the marathon team. So thoughts here, fellas? Did you see it? What'd you think? Lisa,
do you go first, Moose?
Oh, I mean, I saw it. I actually, when I first saw it, I didn't really read the caption. I'm like, holy shit! They've announced like selection. They've selected Izzy, and then I read a few, like a little bit in. I'm like, oh wait, they're announcing the uniform. And then I'm like, oh geez. My initial gut thing was like, oh, I'm not sure I'd put that on if I was not in the Olympics. Like, I know the brand, like she's obviously, ASICS is the sponsor, so they make the kit, and it's probably down to them to announce the kit and market the. I guess I'm not sure why you need to market the kit, but they're announcing the kit, and they have a string of like a stable of athletes. So ASICS athletes, you've got Lisa, you've got Henry. Is it Henry Frame, the long jumper?
Long jumper, yeah.
Yep.
Brandon Stark. Brandon Stark was there, the high jumper, and Kelsey Lee Barber, the javelin thrower. So they had a couple of Aussie track and field reps who are pretty much certainties on making the team. And then they had a lot of team sport athletes, which the team sports, if they've qualified for the games, like they pretty much know who their top team, who's going to be there in the team sports. And so, I don't know, I thought it was a bit odd myself, Moose, in that, like, why wouldn't you just pick athletes that are pretty much guaranteed being there? So, for example, like a no-brainer. Also you got to think about, they want to try and showcase all the different types of uniforms. So, like, the uniform that a hockey player is going to wear is going to be different to what a 5,000 metre runner is going to wear, which is different to what a high jumper is going to wear. So they want to showcase as much of the uniform as possible. But Jemima Montag, right, our best race walker, she's ASICS as well. She's like guaranteed being on the team. It's like, why wouldn't you pick somebody that is going to be there? Because as you said, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that either. Even though if ASICS were my sponsor, I'd be like, I don't feel comfortable wearing this until I'm actually named on the team. Because then you just get this awkwardness of, you put it up on social media or you put it on your Strava, because it's showing what you did for the day. And then everyone's like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And you just got to go through and say, I'm not actually on the team. This is just the launch of the uniform. And also feel like I don't necessarily agree that you need to have an ASICS athlete up there, because at the end of the day, it's the AOC. And like Jess Hull, at some point she's going to be wearing that Aussie uniform, which has an ASICS emblem on it anyway. So for a launch, I think the AOC need to just go, all right, let's look at which athletes are pretty much guaranteed being on the team, and let's get them to unveil the uniform, because they will be actually wearing it.
Yeah.
Well put, Croaks. Well put. Chris.
That being said,
I just thought it was how many Instagram followers you got. He let it real. It's like that.
Yeah. Like, that being said, I think Izzy's still a pretty good shot at making it based on like that last 5K that she ran. I think she goes overseas and we'll find, 7-8 seconds or something she needs to find.
She gets some ranking points as well when she puts a couple of races on the board, like that national 3K coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, she'll make it. It was just, interesting discussion I thought to bring up. Listener question, Croaks.
All right, so question is, for the 3.5 to 4 hour marathoners, do you think we should be running at our marathon pace for longer in our long runs? Because generally our marathon pace and easy pace is closer together than you fast legends. Thanks for the killer podcast. And that's from Tim Firth.
You know who this guy is? Tim Firth?
Yeah, drummer, Thirsty Murph.
Yeah, real big name in the Australian music industry.
Yeah.
Real big name. Thanks for listening, Tim. What do you reckon, Super Coach Moose? What do you got for this?
I think he's right. I think Tim is right here, because if we're looking at a higher end runner who's running a 3.5 to 4 hour race, the pace will be a lot slower. Our pace. So instead of looking at 42k as the thing that you're trying to achieve, you look at the time that you're running, maybe like in terms to get an idea of effort. So, for instance, Kipchoge is 2 hours, And then you've got some athletes that are 3 hours, some that are 4 hours, some that are 5 hours, and some that are more than 6 hours. It's very different. If I told you, Brady, you're going to go run 6 hours tomorrow, then your pace is going to be really different to if you were going to go run 2 hours 20, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
And so, but that athlete that runs 6 hours, let's just say their marathon pace or their race pace is 7 minutes 20 per K. But then they can quite easily run 7 minutes 20 per K for 10K, and that's not a problem for them, and their heart rate isn't out of control. It's more so the fact that the marathon volume is going to be so long for them. That's the major limitation. So I do think that as a runner gets slower, then they can run closer to their marathon pace in training without the issues that it comes up if you're running as a higher end runner.
Yeah, I agree. You got anything to add there, Crux?
No, just another question on this though. So, like when we do marathon training, like, you know, our longest runs are often 2 hours 30, 2 hours 45, which for us gets us, you know, often longer than what we're going to be racing for or very close to the marathon distance. Whereas a 4 hour marathoner is like, it's very hard to expect them to go and run 4 hours every Sunday. You know, which is, so like, what do you do there, Moose?
Well, I kind of look at it like I'm training, if I was coaching someone to run an ultra and I was, let's say Brady comes to me and goes, I want to do a 100K race. And we're like, okay, well, you're going to run 6.5 hours, Brady, for that. Well, we're going to train mainly like a marathoner, but you'll do a few extended long runs. But where's the point where it becomes too long on a Sunday, where it becomes too dangerous? Is it 4 hour run, or is it a 5 hour run, or a 6 hour run? And I think that's what you've got to look at for these athletes, is like the 6 hour marathoner as well. Is it more beneficial to have them calling that run at 2 or 3 hours, or staying out there, keeping them out there for 4 hours and pretty much just exhausting them? I think that's what would happen. Yeah. Because someone running 6 hours isn't very conditioned to running, or most of the time that will be a beginner runner that really shouldn't be out there for 4+ hours on their feet. They probably don't have the muscular strength and conditioning to handle that. So I keep long runs shorter for those, 2.5 to 3 hours. I don't think I really want anyone running longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm with you, Moose. I don't coach a lot of athletes in that sort of 4 hours or slower than 4 hours, and but in the past it's like, yeah, I generally cap it around 3 hours, maybe one that's a touch longer than that, yes, which is still significantly shorter than the time that they're going to be out there running for the marathon. But yeah, if you're doing 4 hours on a Sunday, like, you're pretty much writing off the whole next week.
Yeah, which is back to Tim's question, why you can go a bit shorter, a bit quicker. You can spend more time of your long run at marathon pace because you're not going to be out there for a duration that's similar to your marathon finishing time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good question, though.
Whereas that's hard for us. Like, I'd find that really hard. Like, I'm sure if Tim's run 3.5 to 4 hours, he might be able to spend 2 hours pretty comfortably at marathon pace. Whereas that would be extremely difficult for us because it's only 20 minutes short of what you're trying to do on race day.
Yeah.
Good question, Tim. Thanks for your support of the show. Want some whispers, fellas? Got 3 today.
Yeah, you go heavier on the whispers, but because I don't have much of a Moose on the loose, so you go.
Ali Pashley's doing Hamburg Marathon, I heard today, Moose. True or false?
That's unconfirmed.
Okay. Albert Park 10K will be certified this year, I'm hearing. Athletes Victoria going to pay the fee, get it certified. Probably about 5 years too late, but I'm hearing that's going to be happening, which is good for people down here in Victoria. Flat, fast, U-turn 10K, but it's going to count as your 10K PB if you're into that kind of thing. And Peyton the Beast Craig, we heard about him last week after his dominance in Canberra. Spoke about potentially signing a contract with On. You guys were talking about still maybe running New Balance shoes. I think Nitter was onto that, Moose, but I'm hearing a big 4 to 5 year contract with On for Peyton the Beast Craig. So a few whispers, all of them unconfirmed, but I think pretty confident all of them are going to pay off.
4 to 5 years. that's locked him in. He can't go off and do his triathlon now, can he?
Big talent, yeah.
Although he probably could actually.
Yeah. Some of the top triathletes wear on.
Yeah, they do. It's big in that. Grew up in that sport, that brand.
See, Barcelona Marathon, the guy was wearing on shoes, ran 2:05. Swedish, Switzerland record.
Yep. I think he was with hanging out with Kerryn when Kerryn was in Kenya before Berlin.
Have you tried their race shoe, Moose? Their super shoe?
They're good. Honestly, they're super. They don't have a super shoe yet. They've got a race shoe. It ain't super, but they're bringing out.
But that guy ran 2:05.
Yeah, he'd be in the shoes that are coming out mid-year.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got two coming out mid-year, and they're both very, very competitive in the market.
Okay.
Current one is not competitive in the market, and I don't think you see a lot of the marathoners that are sponsored by On wearing it.
Yep, gotcha. That's answered my question there.
Yep.
You got nothing for Moose on the Loose? Quiet week. Me and Croaks would dominate Moose on the Loose while you were away. He come back second show. You got nothing.
Would not. You weren't at all. But I was enjoying the whispers. What have I been thinking about? What's been pissing me off lately? You know, I keep thinking how much I need to get outside and not tie everything to running so much. That's what I've been thinking about. I can have a few thoughts, Moose's thoughts. So lately, I'm like, don't tie all your emotional baggage to running. Like, have outs here and there. You're not going to go to the Olympics. You're not making money off this sport. You just got to go out there and you've got to stop. I guess it's not the time for it to take over your life. Like, go down the beach, go surfing more often, enjoy yourself. Like, don't be so fretted about having a day off running. Like today, I've been surfing twice today, and in the past, old me would be thinking, you have to get out for a run. You should have doubled today. Now, how are you going to do it? 36 degrees, you're tired, you've made bad decisions today. But at the moment, I'm sitting here quite content. We'll see how we go once the change comes in, and I sit in bed tonight and think, you should have run, you slack bastard. And you're going to have to make up for it to get that weekly mileage back up. But that's my thoughts. That's what I've been thinking about. Also, getting out into the country a little more. On Saturday, went down the coast, went down to Glen Eyre, Castle Cove. It's this section of the coast between kind of like Cape Otway and Port Campbell near the 12 Apostles, and it's wild down there. The coast changes direction, so you're copying the Southern Ocean coming into the you're copping like these big swells, and it's exposed coastlines. No one down there. It's just a really awesome place, and it's just very different. As we drove through, we had a guest here staying with us, Luke, and he's from Canada. I'm like, we'll go down the Great Ocean Road. Lawn was packed. Great Ocean Road just full of tourists. Get to Apollo Bay, the whole town's packed. 20 minutes down the road, empty. Only ones on the beach, basically, spare for a couple of people. I'm like, this is it. This is it. We got to get down here more.
Did you buy a holiday house while you're down there, Moose?
No, mate, I've been Googling camper vans now, though.
Oh, that's an expensive pastime.
Camper vanning.
Because you might need the bigger ram to pull the camper as well.
Oh, no, not
No, this is one way. No, this is different, Brady.
What's
the
a camper van?
The camper van is the van and vehicle in one.
Oh,
Mate,
yeah.
Sleep in the van.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, we'll still go into the cottages, but we'll just have enough room to take stuff in the van. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice.
Yeah. I don't know. Those like big fours when there's like cabins and stuff. That seems a whole lot easier.
That's all right. But you got to get your stuff down there. Like, what do you got? 2 kids. You got a dog. You're going to take the bikes for the kids too. You're not fitting that in the Kia.
No, I'm not. It's a bit of stuff to pack.
Hey, I've got a question for you though. Came up in conversation this week. Mm-hmm. Why do you live in Echuca, Moama?
Good question. Moved here for a 6-month job. Drove up from Bendigo every day and just never left. I like the community. I like the size of it. Like, it's small enough that it's got a sense of community without being like too small that you bump into every single person you know at the supermarket. Carly's obviously born and bred here, so all her family and stuff's here. So
yeah, I was wondering that.
That's probably I don't really have much appeal to move back to Bendigo, so I think we'd start somewhere fully fresh if we were to move away. You know what it's like
being the big dog in town, Moose.
Not even
yeah,
big
but he's
dogs,
not
though.
anymore though. He's not.
Definitely not. Archie's taken it. We've got a couple of ex-AFL players who come back to town to play local footy. Just you know what it's like when you're in the school community. You're tied down a bit.
You get comfortable where you are.
Get comfortable. It's a pretty good place to live. It's like sunny, like 300 of the days of the year here.
So far away though.
From where? Geelong.
From everywhere. From
2.5 hours to Melbourne. It's not too bad.
That's a fair way. Like, I think Melbourne's a long way from here. It's only 90 minutes.
You get used to it though. It's not too bad.
I reckon you could look around.
All right. See what happens. I don't even want to know why you're.
Do you want a
having
few
this
suggestions?
Why you're having this conversation? Like,
I just want you to buy a big house down where you visited, and then you can come down and it's got a place to stay.
Yeah, I reckon you'd go well down there. They don't have any runners down there.
I reckon we need to get you up here. Your perception of Echuca Moama is, I think, a bit off. I reckon we need to get you up here, take you to a couple of the pubs, take you out. I went down to Moama Beach today with Hudson, take you down to the beach, take you out for a round of golf.
Now I got a moose on the loose. Take you
on a run on a few trails. I reckon you just don't know what you're missing.
All right, you can't call the river a beach. You're just not allowed to. It's not a beach at all. It's a muddy, like, river bank. It's not a beach. Beaches are next to the ocean. Rivers are rivers. Beaches. Keep them separate, please.
The river bank.
It's all sandy though.
No.
River bank.
It ain't a beach.
I'm not the one who names it. Like, there's just a massive sign there that the council call it Moama Beach. So
yeah, but you can. What do you call it? You can dress up.
You can call it Moama River. What do you want to call it instead?
Because
you just
I
call
don't
it
care what you
just
call
say,
it. Just don't call it a beach.
If we're going down the river, it's like the river's like K's and K's long. You don't know where you're going. But if I say to Carly, hey, we're going to Moama Beach, she knows exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, but you're not going to the beach though, are you?
Like, it's got sand there. Like, Hudson was getting, like, he wouldn't come out of the river today. And then when he'd come out, he'd be all wet and then do, like, the snow angel. So he'd get all sandy, knowing that I couldn't put him in the car because he was all sandy. So then I'd have to take him back down to the water, clean him off again. So, yeah, there's plenty of sand down there.
Okay.
Anyway, not sure what happened in the last 10 minutes.
Were you going with that mutton dressed as lamb?
Yeah, that's
saying?
It. Oh, no, there's something else. Like, you can dress up. You can dress something up, but it's not. I don't know. Mutton dressed as lamb. That's a good one.
Book you in. I reckon you'll do you well coming up here.
It's fucking 400 degrees up there.
It's the same as what you got at the moment, I think. It's 40.
Nah.
40.
Yeah, and I've got a beach to swim in.
Yeah, I'll give you a river and a swimming pool. Anyway, what's coming up?
Boys, back to running chat.
Yeah,
do you want to know what time? Do you want to know what time World Cross is on at our time?
Good research from you. What do you got?
So it's the 30th of March. The under 20 races start at 9 p.m. our time, and the open men's race is at 11:30 p.m. our time.
Saturday night.
That's a bit guessing it'll be Saturday night.
It's a bit late for me to stay up for that.
Saturday night?
Midnight finish. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but who are you staying up to watch?
Well, who's the last race? The men? The
men. There's at least six men to watch.
True. Who's getting you excited, though, out of that team, Crooks?
Pat Tiernan?
Oh, yeah, Pat Tiernan will get you up and about. He'll keep you up till midnight. What else is coming up? Sound Running's coming up. The 10. This is that big 10K they do. Pacemakers. The Bowman guys used to always do this as well. I reckon some of those OAC guys as well. It's coming up 16th of March. I also think, is this where Jack set the Australian record? And we had him on the show straight afterwards. He was just walking around the streets by himself.
Yeah. Everything was closed. Yeah. He couldn't get a feed.
The man just wanted a beer or a party.
He's just walking around the streets of California or wherever he was. But Jack's going back again. Morgan McDonald there as well. Lauren Ryan and Holly Campbell in the women's race as well. Run for the Kids is also Sunday. And the Peoplecare Fitness 5K Fun Run is also coming up, Croaks. They can't wait to see us down there in Wollongong for the weekend of the 20th of April, which will sit alongside the Wollongong World Cup Triathlon, where you can see the world's best triathletes go head-to-head. For more information, visit fitness5.com.au. And I was running along one day, Croaks, and I thought you were plugging some other podcast on your Instagram stories one day this week, the Wollongong Running podcast. Mm-hmm. I put this on hearing that you're going to be down there in action at the Fitness 5 Fun Run.
Possibly. Maybe. It could be my first, well, assuming I run between now and then. 20th of April, I think that's a good amount of time to, string together some consistency and then go and see where I'm at.
10 grand worth of prize money, Moose. Gets me out of bed for.
I don't think I'll be worrying the people who dish out the prize money.
10 grand?
It's a pretty famous race, Croaks. Back in the day, and now they've made it. The Wollongong boys have got it back going.
It was quite a popular race, back in the day. Some pretty well-known runners have won it. It's back up. So, you've got $10,000 across the men's and women's. I think prize money is only for the 5K.
Okay. Kerryn McCann won it back in the day, didn't she?
Yeah, Yusuf Abdi's won it.
Actually, by Mizuno.
Is
like
it?
That. Yeah, I'm just having a look.
You just Googled
checking out the prize money. Yeah, I'm just on it now. I'm just checking the prize money.
What date is it?
20th of April.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a Saturday.
Oh, it's a week before Ballarat then.
First place, $2,500 for you, Croaks.
Couple of past winners: Scott Westcott, Harry Summers, Yusuf Abdi, Ben St Lawrence, Ryan Gregson, Chloe Ty, Lara Tamsett, Gwen Jorgensen, and Kerryn McCann.
That is a good list of people, isn't it?
Pretty good, isn't it, for Wollongong Fun Run?
Good work.
Hey, how's Gwen going again?
I don't know. How is she going?
She's back to triathlons.
Did Croaks give you that slab, Moose?
He got it.
Probably,
yeah, he did.
I don't know if you did.
I did. No. I transferred you cash, Moose.
Did ya?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. Good bloke. Why that?
Yeah, she's back doing triathlon. She'll probably win the gold this year at the Olympics.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not going to bet a slab on it, though. Because I haven't checked the form.
You still watch her YouTube videos?
No, I don't.
Does she still do it?
Don't know.
I have to go look at that, I reckon.
All right, Croaks, you've got to get out of here, I reckon. Thanks for recording, fellas. We'll do it all again next week. Patrons, I want to try to get one of these first coaching episodes on there for you this week as well, so keep an eye out for that one. What's happening between now and next week, Moose?
Oh, back to work, and running. Running's happening. That's about it.
Croaks, what do you got happening?
Hopefully running a bit more. Might go out to the Raiders Saturday afternoon. Potentially an auction as well.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you're going to buy a house?
We've been looking. So we every week, Thursday is the day when all the houses come out. There's often 100 listings on a Thursday. So we scroll through them all and then go to the odd open home. So there's been a couple that have, that we're sort of interested in. There's one actually that's 450 metres from where I start my runs in Mulligans.
Oh, that will be the one.
Location's
important.
Very tempting. It's got a pool too.
Imagine Croaks at an auction, Moose.
Oh, yeah. They'd have to put him up on a box to stand on. Or Viv might have to lift him up to make the bids.
He'd get super nervous, I was referring to. I reckon he'd be pretty high-strung in that environment.
We've seen him at races before. And around a lot of people, doesn't do it too well.
And the money component of it all.
Oh,
I've tried to get a schooner out of him before, and that's very difficult. I can't imagine how you're bidding on houses worth $1 million.
I'll be going up by $50 increments.
Yeah. Just add 50 cents to whatever's previous. All right, we're done. We're talking a bit of rubbish here. See you, boys.
See ya.
I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Could've stayed hung up, could've been knocked down, but here I stand, a man whose roots he understands, and I'm gonna hold my head up high. I was taught as a young man, doesn't matter if you're white or black, just show love to everyone you meet, doesn't matter if it don't come back. Undercover.